I'm 86 years old and I need to tell you something about marriage that nobody talks about. I had everything. A beautiful house, financial security, respect in the community, and I was completely empty inside. My name is Beatrice. I got married in 1960 when I was 22 years old. His name was Howard. He was 31, established, successful. He owned 3 hardware stores in our area. He had money. He had a future. And when he asked me to marry him, everyone told me I'd be crazy to say no, so I said yes. Not because I loved him, because I thought love would come later. I said yes because I was terrified of being poor. Let me back up. I grew up during the Depression. Well, the tail end of it. My father lost everything in 1938. We went from comfortable to desperate almost overnight. I watched my mother cry herself to sleep. I watched my father drink himself into silence. I watched my older sister marry the first man who asked just to have somewhere to go, somewhere stable. I was 7 years old when we lost our house, 7 years old when I learned that security is the most important thing in the world. Or at least that's what I thought I learned. Turns out I learned the wrong lesson entirely. By the time I was 22, I was working as a secretary, making barely enough to pay for my tiny apartment and food. I was tired all the time, scared all the time, scared I'd get sick and lose my job, scared I'd end up like my parents, broken and bitter. Then I met Howard at a church social. He was older, calm, stable. He didn't make my heart race. He didn't make me laugh until I couldn't breathe, but he made me feel safe. And at 22, after growing up the way I did, safety felt like love. He courted me for 6 months, took me to nice restaurants, bought me flowers, talked about the life we could have together, a house, children, stability, everything I thought I wanted, everything I'd been told to want. My mother was thrilled. She said, "Beatrice, this is your chance. Don't mess this up. Men like Howard don't come around often." My sister said, "You'd be stupid to say no. Do you want to work in that office until you're old and gray?" Even my friends said I was lucky. So when Howard proposed, I said yes. I convinced myself I was making the smart choice, the practical choice. I told myself love would grow. That's what everyone said. They said marriage is about partnership, not passion. They said butterflies fade anyway, so why chase them? We got married in June of 1960. Small wedding, his family, my family, a few friends. I wore a white dress his mother helped me pick out. It was beautiful. Expensive. Everything was expensive. The cake, the flowers, the reception. Howard paid for all of it without blinking. And I remember standing at that altar looking at him and feeling nothing. No excitement, no nervousness, just this calm acceptance, like I was signing a business contract, not marrying a person. But I pushed that feeling down, told myself I was being ridiculous, told myself this was what grown-up love looked like. The first few years weren't bad. They weren't good, but they weren't bad. We moved into a house Howard bought. 4 bedrooms, big yard, nice neighborhood. I decorated it, kept it clean, cooked dinner every night, did everything a good wife was supposed to do. Howard worked long hours, left early, came home late. When he was home, he was tired. We'd eat dinner, watch television, go to bed. Weekends he'd work on the house or play golf with his business associates. I'd clean, do laundry, go to church. We had sex. It was fine. Not exciting, not terrible. Just something we did because married people do that. He never asked what I wanted. I never told him. I don't think either of us thought about it much. It was just another part of the routine. I got pregnant in 1962, had our first son Richard in 1963. Then our daughter Catherine in 1965. Howard was a good father in the practical sense. He provided, made sure they had everything they needed, good schools, clothes, toys. But he wasn't warm, wasn't playful. He was like a manager, not a dad. And I was a good mother. I loved my children, still do, but I felt like I was going through the motions, like I was playing a role. The devoted wife, the caring mother, the woman who had it all together. But inside I felt hollow. I remember when Richard was about 5 years old, Catherine was 3. We were at a neighborhood party. All the wives were standing in the kitchen talking about their husbands. One woman was complaining that her husband never helped with the kids. Another was bragging about the vacation her husband planned. And they all looked at me and said, "You're so lucky, Beatrice. Howard is such a good provider." And I smiled, said, "Yes, I'm very lucky." But inside I was screaming because I wasn't lucky. I was trapped in a beautiful house with a successful husband and 2 healthy children, trapped in a life that looked perfect from the outside, but felt like death on the inside. But I didn't say that. You didn't say things like that in 1968. You smiled. You counted your blessings. You didn't complain about having too much security. The years passed. Richard and Catherine grew up. Howard's business expanded. We moved to a bigger house, joined the country club, took vacations to places I never thought I'd see. Florida, California, Europe twice, and I felt nothing. I'd stand on a beach in Florida watching the sunset and feel absolutely nothing. I'd walk through museums in Paris and feel like I was watching my own life from outside my body, like I was a ghost haunting someone else's existence. Howard never noticed, or if he did, he never said anything. We barely talked by then, not about anything real. We talked about the kids, about his business, about what needed to be fixed in the house, but we never talked about us, never talked about how we felt or what we wanted or if we were happy. I don't think he was happy either. I think he was just as empty as I was, but we'd both made this choice, invested so much time, had children together, built this life. Walking away felt impossible, so we just kept going. Day after day, year after year, 2 strangers living in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, going through the same motions. When I was 45, I met someone. His name was Tom. He was a teacher at Catherine's high school. I met him at a parent-teacher conference, and when we talked, really talked about books and ideas in life, I felt something I hadn't felt in 23 years of marriage. I felt alive. We started as friends. I'd volunteer at the school just to see him. We'd have coffee, talk for hours. He made me laugh. He asked me questions about myself, real questions. What did I think about things? What did I dream about? Who was I beyond being Howard's wife and Richard and Catherine's mother? And I realized I didn't know. I'd buried that person so deep I couldn't find her anymore. Tom and I never had an affair, not physically, but emotionally. I was more intimate with him in 6 months than I'd been with Howard in over 2 decades, and that scared me because I realized what I'd given up, what I'd never had. I ended the friendship, told Tom I couldn't see him anymore, stopped volunteering at the school, went back to my routine. My empty, comfortable, secure routine. Because leaving Howard felt impossible, where would I go? What would I do? I was 45 years old, no job skills, no money of my own, 2 kids in high school who needed stability, and honestly, I was afraid. Afraid of being alone, afraid of being poor again. The same fear that made me marry Howard in the first place kept me married to him for another 24 years. Howard died in 2007, heart attack. He was 78. We'd been married 47 years. At his funeral, people said we had a good marriage. They said how lucky I'd been to have such a devoted husband. They said 47 years was an accomplishment. And I stood there looking at his casket, and I felt relief. Not sadness, not grief, relief, because it was finally over. The performance was done. I didn't have to pretend anymore. My kids were confused by my reaction. Richard said, "Mom, it's okay to cry," but I didn't want to cry. I felt like I'd been let out of prison, and that made me feel guilty, made me feel like a terrible person. What kind of wife feels relieved when her husband dies? But I couldn't help it. For 47 years, I'd been living a half-life, going through motions, playing a role. And now, at 69 years old, I was finally free. The first year after Howard died, I didn't know what to do with myself. I'd spent my entire adult life being his wife, taking care of his house, managing his social calendar, supporting his business. Who was I without that? I started small, joined a book club, something I'd always wanted to do, but Howard thought was a waste of time. Started taking art classes, painting, something I loved as a teenager but gave up because it wasn't practical. And slowly, so slowly, I started to find myself. The person I was before I buried her to marry Howard. the person who had dreams and opinions and desires, the person who felt things. I'm 86 years old now. Howard's been gone for 17 years, and these 17 years have been more alive than the 47 I spent married to him. I paint every day. I read what I want. I travel when I want. I make my own decisions. I live for myself, not for someone else's idea of what my life should look like. But here's the thing. I can't get those 47 years back. I can't go back to 22-year-old Beatrice and tell her not to marry for security. Tell her that being poor and free is better than being comfortable and dead inside. Tell her that love matters, that passion matters, that feeling something, anything, is better than feeling nothing at all. I look at young people today and I see them making the same mistake I made. I see women marrying men because they're stable, because they have good jobs, because they'll be good providers. And those things matter. I'm not saying they don't, but they're not enough. They're not nearly enough. You need more than security. You need connection. You need someone who sees you, really sees you, someone who makes you feel alive, someone you can talk to about real things, someone who makes you want to be yourself, not play a role. And I see people staying in dead marriages because they've invested so much time, because leaving feels too hard, because they're afraid of being alone or starting over. And I want to shake them. I want to tell them that every day you stay in a marriage that's killing your soul is a day you can't get back. I wasted 47 years. Don't waste yours. My daughter Catherine got divorced 3 years ago. She was married for 18 years, and she called me, crying, saying she felt like a failure, saying she was ashamed. And I told her something I wish someone had told me. I said, getting divorced isn't failure. Staying in a marriage that makes you miserable, that's failure. You're being brave. You're choosing yourself. I'm proud of you. She was surprised. Said she thought I'd be disappointed, that I'd tell her to stick it out, but I couldn't, because I know what sticking it out cost. It cost you yourself, your dreams, your joy, your life. Catherine is happy now, really happy. She's dating someone new, someone who makes her laugh, someone she can be herself with, and she glows in a way she never did in her marriage. And I'm so glad she had the courage I didn't have, the courage to choose life over security. My son Richard is still married, 35 years, and his marriage looks a lot like mine did. Functional, stable, dead. I see it when I visit them. The way they move around each other like roommates, not partners. The way they don't really talk. The way there's no warmth, no connection. I tried to talk to him about it once, asked him if he was happy, and he said, Mom, marriage isn't about happiness, it's about commitment. And I heard myself in that answer. The same thing I told myself for 47 years, and it broke my heart, because he's 57 years old and he's choosing the same slow death I chose, but I can't save him. He has to figure it out himself, just like I had to. Here's what I wish I'd known at 22. Security isn't worth sacrificing yourself for. Comfort isn't worth dying inside for. Money can't fill the emptiness of a loveless marriage. A beautiful house doesn't matter if you feel like a prisoner inside it. Love matters. Connection matters. Feeling alive matters. And if you're with someone who doesn't make you feel those things, it doesn't matter how stable they are or how good they look on paper. You're slowly suffocating yourself. And if you're already in a marriage like that, if you're reading this and recognizing yourself, it's not too late. I was 69 when Howard died. 69 when I finally started living. You don't have to wait that long. You can choose yourself now, today. I know it's scary. I know leaving means uncertainty, maybe financial struggle, maybe judgment from family and friends, maybe starting over. But I promise you, starting over at 30 or 40 or 50 is better than waking up at 70 and realizing you never really lived. Because here's the truth. We get one life, not a practice run, and then the real thing. Just this, right now. And every day you spend being someone you're not, doing things you don't want to do, staying in a situation that's killing you slowly, that's a day you can't get back. I spent 47 years married to a man I never loved, living in a beautiful cage, going through motions, playing a role, and I can never get that time back. Those years are gone, and all I have left are these 17 years of freedom and a mountain of regret for all the time I wasted. Don't do what I did. Don't marry for security. Don't stay for comfort. Don't sacrifice your soul for stability, because the cost is too high. The cost is your life. If you're with someone who makes you feel alive, who sees you, who you can be yourself with, even if they're not perfect, even if life with them is messy or uncertain, hold on to them. That's rare. That's valuable. That matters more than money or status or what other people think. And if you're alone and scared, know that being alone and free is better than being partnered and trapped. I spent 47 years with someone and felt alone every single day. Now I'm actually alone, and I feel more connected to myself and to life than I ever did in my marriage. You don't need someone to complete you. You don't need someone to take care of you. You need to take care of yourself. Know yourself. Love yourself. And then, if you choose to share your life with someone, do it because they add to your life, not because you need them to survive. I married Howard because I was afraid. Afraid of being poor, afraid of being alone, afraid of making the wrong choice. And that fear cost me everything that mattered. It cost me my life. Don't let fear make your decisions. Don't let other people's expectations dictate your choices. Don't trade your dreams for security, because security without joy is just a comfortable prison, and you deserve more than that. You deserve to feel alive. I'm 86 years old. I've been free for 17 years, and I wish I'd been free for 64. I wish I'd had the courage at 22 that I finally found at 69. I wish I'd chosen life over security, love over comfort, myself over everyone else's expectations, but I can't go back. All I can do is tell you my story and hope that maybe, just maybe, you'll make a different choice than I did. You'll choose yourself, choose life, choose love, not security, not comfort, not what looks good on paper. Because when you're 86 and you look back on your life, you won't regret the risks you took. You'll regret the ones you didn't. You won't regret choosing yourself. You'll regret all the years you didn't. Howard gave me everything except a life, a house, money, stability, respect, everything except the one thing that actually matters, the freedom to be myself, to feel things, to live. Don't let anyone do that to you. Not a spouse, not a parent, not society. Your life is yours, your one precious life. Don't give it away for security. Don't trade it for comfort. Live it. Really live it. Even if it's scary, even if it's messy, even if people don't understand. Because at the end, and I'm near the end now, none of the stuff matters. The house doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter. What matters is whether you really lived, whether you felt things, whether you were yourself, whether you have memories of joy, not just comfort. I have 17 years of real memories, 17 years where I was actually alive, and 47 years of nothing, 47 years of going through motions in a comfortable fog. If I could trade every bit of security Howard gave me for 47 years of real life, I'd do it in a heartbeat, but I can't. It's too late for me. It's not too late for you. Choose life. Choose yourself. Choose love over security every single time. Hit that subscribe button if this meant something to you.